Okay, so let me just in case record this. And yeah, so thanks for joining us this morning. And yeah, let me know that you can hear me somehow.
Yes, we can.
Excellent. So the plan for today, let me repeat a little bit from what I just posted in the chat. Today, the topic for us would be lists and working with lists. And I suggest you learn that by watching the videos from my Russian course on YouTube. There are 7 videos, I think, totally something like 1.5 hours. And that would be like the first part for you today to learn. Then in about half an hour, I will post an assignment in Teams with a few problems from the lectures. I mean, there are some typical problems like finding prime numbers, those kind of things. And please try to do them either while you listen to the lectures or after that. And that would be that would have to be done by the end of day today. Please do it like by yourself. I know some of the problems are pretty like common, and you would probably be able to find even solutions on the internet, but I suggest you try to do them yourself for learning purposes, because that's more for you than for me to check. But still, it would be an assignment. Please complete it by the end of the day today. And then if you have any time left, you can start doing the next lab. And the deadline for next lab would be in 2 weeks. So you would still be able to finish it next week. But yeah, please start doing it as well. And next week we will meet online, and I will answer all possible questions on lists. And of course, I'm also ready to answer them in chat, in Telegram, if you have any questions. I hope that's clear, like what we are doing today. In terms of first lab, I have completed grading the first lab. So by now you should have all your all comments to your code in GitHub issues, and also like you should receive them by email if you have it set up from GitHub. So the main problems that I saw. First of all, during in Taylor series, when you compute Taylor series using 2 methods, you are doing kind of while loop in both cases. You need to add until the term becomes sufficiently small. So this logic ideally should be separated into a separate function, so that you are not repeating the same logic twice, in the same manner as I showed during lectures how to do it with kind of loop with accumulator. But in lectures, we were adding just like 10 terms together. But in lab, you should be adding like terms until certain condition holds. So basically, what you were ideally supposed to do is to kind of write this generic while loop function and then implement both of those Taylor series computations in terms of this function. Also, in the original problem, you were asked to print the value of the function that you obtain and the number of iterations that it took you to reach the accuracy. And some of you just did not do that. You just did the for loop and not this kind of while functionality, and not counting the number of iterations. So that was another point for me to check. Also, if you want to return from the function the value and the number of iterations, you should return the tuple. I hope that's more or less clear. You can return 2 values from the function by returning a tuple. When it comes to equations, to solving equations, the one point one drawback was that most of you implemented Newton method from scratch, like without using iterations. But as I mentioned, it is a specific case of iterations with just very specific functions. So you could have called just the iteration method from Newton, passing the correct function there, and that would be, of course, better because you would not repeat the functionality of doing iterations into different functions. So this is kind of things that I looked for when checking the labs, because the main point of the labs was to give the idea that in functional programming you can separate logic very clearly, that you can like if you define a kind of some abstract function, you can make like if you have a set of problems which are similar, you can try to factor out the functionality which is common for them into a separate function. So that was kind of an exercise in this first lab. So any questions on what we are doing today? Any questions on the lab? So yeah, the final grade, very good question. I will post the link in the general chat. I have the Google spreadsheet with your grades, and I will post the link in the general chat right now. And also, of course, if you used like any mutable variables or any traditional loops, that is definitely not a good solution, and that's why that resulted in very low mark. Okay, if there are no questions, I hope we are all clear on what we are doing today. And if you have any questions while you watch the videos, any corrections, comments whatsoever, you can reach out in Telegram chat or in Telegram to me directly. And I will post the assignment in Teams. Please do not forget about that, because that is something to be done today. It will close after today. Okay, if there are no further questions, then I wish you great time watching the videos and great studies and a good day.